Our top story, I think it was fairly unanimous, though not quite. Well, things either are or they aren't. There was a degree of consensus. The ongoing travails of our embattled Prime Minister, and it does remind me this ever so slightly of that period in American TV news when the walls were closing in on a daily basis for Donald Trump, and yet they never quite seemed to finally cut him off. Suggestions that Boris Johnson and his team are bullying, possibly even blackmailing MPs to back him. There is talk of intimidation. That, of course, suggests a certain amount of physical threat. There is certainly the suggestion that various politicians have been led to believe that funding might be cut off from some of their favoured projects, or on a slightly more visceral level, that they might be exposed to media ridicule, that stories that might embarrass them could be leaked. And, of course, these things are no doubt stored up. Anyone who watched the thick of it will remember that that is obviously the capacity of that office. I mean, I don't know. There always a little bit of dirty tricks with politics at this time of year, and this not time of year, but this period within an administration. But it does ring a little bit more true, perhaps, given Johnson's history of being caught on tape, agreeing to help his friend Darius Guppy to give a journalist a couple of black eyes if he was to pursue a story they didn't want. I mean, how do you feel? What do you think, Steve? Does it ring true for you?
I'm certainly not shocked by it.
No.
In fact, I probably presumed that politics is full of all of this, especially on the Conservative side of things. Even Theresa May worked out that they were known as the nasty party. I mean, a lot of this, I guess, is because I've watched House of Cards, so I presume it's all backstabbing. So this is very much like House of Cards, other than that has a wrong-un as the main character. Well, actually, it's not too far off then, is it?
But he was a much smoother wrong-un, wasn't he? Well, there were two editions of the House of Cards. The first one many years ago, which I can't remember his name, the actor, but he was almost like a sort of Charles Dance type character, wasn't he? Very austere, public school educated. And then they moved to the Kevin Spacey model. Boris Johnson is kind of like the history repeats first as tragedy, then as farce kind of iteration of that, isn't it? I think
so at least he's got a job when all this goes on. Film it as a reality show. I love the fact that Boris said he insisted that he saw no evidence to back up these accusations. No. He also saw no evidence that people stood around drinking was a party. So he's got some Magoo points in the bank right now, is what I'm thinking.
Yes, I think that, I mean, it's a clever reframing of the issue, that, though, isn't it, in a sense, because it suggests that he clearly hasn't done this himself or ordered it. It's as if somebody suggests that a phenomenon is taking place in his office of which, you think there's a leak, you think there's some damp, somebody was complaining there's footfall is over, The accusations are that he has ordered this, that he has signed it off, and he is somehow managing to reframe it as something. I've heard no evidence of this.
Which means we're only 24 hours away from him saying, well, no one told me blackmail was wrong. Grown-up never said.
Nobody explained to me that a threat would amount to intimidation. What do you think, Eric?
Well, I want to try this on because I've just seen it so much on TV lately. Okay. I don't want to comment on a hypothetical, and I'm waiting for Sue Gray to finish her inquiry. I just want to see what that feels like.
How many of the nation's children are going to be trying that on?
Everyone knows.
Who left this all over the kitchen surface? I am waiting for the results.
Sue Gray. But there's going to be the photo after that. As soon as he's denied it like he has, that he doesn't know about it. It'll be maybe that manila envelope that has the photos in it, and there's going to be someone like, the blackmail.
They have
to
be very careful now, don't they? Because 20 years ago, 30 years ago, even then his phone call was somehow recorded. Nobody knows how that happened, but Matt Hancock caught snogging next to the photocopier. Anyone who is physically approached with any sort of form of intimidation, that is likely to get picked up on camera sooner or later.
I would imagine years ago, Boris probably released that audio himself because he thought it made him look good. That's probably how it got out in the first place.
Have you seen the clip of him listening back to it many years later, and he's just sort of chortling away,
of course,
as if he's been at this for high jinks.
Some of the defence follows in that same direction of not apologising, with Michael Fabricant saying, if I reported every time I'd been threatened by a whip, or a whip reported every time I'd threatened them, the police wouldn't have any time to conduct other police work. That's not really
That's not what you want to hear, is it? No. Also, the idea of Michael Fabricant being threatened by a whip, that actually summons up an entirely unwelcome image.